Hello peeps, welcome back to Big Deck Playa. I am your host Max Marks, and today we will be looking at another spotlighted deck from the game Hearthstone. This is another one that I found on hearthstone.com, and today we're going to be looking at a warrior deck. This one is called the Tempo Midrange. I'll bring it up on here for you. Here we go, this is the list of cards. This was posted on Hearthstone by somebody by the name of Mindlapse, and this is it's an odd one from what I'm used to with warriors, but then I haven't had a huge success when I've made my own warrior decks, so but this one has proved to be pretty useful. So the idea behind this deck is that you grab some early control on the board with your Fiery War Axe, Ironbeak Owls, that kind of stuff, the Harvest Golem, the Raging Worgen, that kind of thing, buffing your creatures with Shattered Sun Cleric and the Dark Iron Dwarf. If you need to, popping down early taunts using the Defender of Argus. But then late game you've got stuff like the Gurubashi Berserker, which combined with either, where is it, the Cruel Taskmaster or In a Rage. As you can see, the Gurubashi Berserker, when his takes damage, it gets an Enrage effect, giving it +3 attack. So if you hit it with an In a Rage, which deals 1 damage, you've given it 3 attack, but you're also giving it +2 attack from the In a Rage effect. So then, if you can combine the two together at the same time, then that becomes a 7/6 minion, which is pretty awesome. One thing I have learnt is to not buff creatures before they can attack. It's one thing that I've seen other people do, and unless you want that minion to die, say for example you're low on health and you don't have any taunts, that could be an effective way to kind of take focus off of you and put it onto. It doesn't always work, admittedly, but I've seen people that will, say for example they've got the Raging Worgen, which has a Wind Fury and +1 attack when it takes damage. I've seen people buff it before it can attack, and it's like, well now I'm just going to kill it, because I don't want you to use that next turn. Whereas if you put it out unbuffed, it's still a threat, but it's not as big of a threat as it would be if you had buffed it. Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, so we've got some Novice Engineers and some Acolyte of Pain for card draw, but that's the only card draw that there is in this deck. The main weakness is lack of proper removal cards. There's no Execute. This card here, there's none of that. You've got Whirlwind, which does 1 damage to everything, which is good if you've got your enraged creatures out. But otherwise, it's not that good, really. It might be just enough damage that you can help get rid of 2 or 3 creatures, but it's not all that good. What I have found though is sometimes you come across a creature that has got a lot of health and you can only get it down to 1 health before you've kind of run out. Having it in a rage, dealing that 1 damage, you can deal that damage to another, an enemy minion, which obviously you don't want to do it before. You don't want to do it before it's down to 1 health, but if it's only got 1 health left, you can use that to just pick them off, which is pretty useful. Same with Cruel Taskmaster. You can use Cruel Taskmaster's Battlecry to deal 1 damage to something and clear it off completely. So say for example they had an Ironbeak Owl which has only got 1 health, Cruel Taskmaster will kill that as soon as you put it on the board, which is pretty useful. And obviously you've got stuff like the Sea Giant, so having a lot of minions on the field, on the board, helps bring the Sea Giant out a lot quicker. That doesn't always happen with this deck, but sometimes it does. And also you got the Sunwalker with Divine Shield and Taunt, which is a great card, especially found against priests, because it's got the magical 4 attack which for priests, the only way they can really get rid of it is to either use the normal kind of forms of hitting other minions against it until it dies, or mind control. That's the only other way, because they've got spells that get rid of stuff with 3 or less attack or 5 or more attack. They haven't got anything that gets rid of 4, so 4 is like the magic number against priests, I've found. But obviously if it mind controls it, then you're screwed. But then that's priests. So yeah, we've got an Ironbeak Owl for early silence, and we've got a Spellbreaker for late silence. And as I say, we've got stuff like the Shattered Sun Cleric and Dark Iron Dwarf for pumping up. Harvest Golem is a great card in general, just because it's got 3 health, and 3 health is a little bit more difficult to get rid of than 2 health, which a lot of 3-cost cards will be 3/2 instead of a 2/3. And when it dies, you also get a 2/1 like straight afterwards. So you've still got, even when that dies, you've still got another minion that it needs to get rid of that you can use to possibly kill off something else. And that is the deck. As I say, we've got Battle Rage for card draw as well. I forgot about that. So this got nerfed recently. It used to be really good because you could combo it with after a whirlwind. Because it used to be all damage characters. So regardless of whether it was, now it's just friendly ones. So you used to include your opponent, like the opponent hero, and all their minions as well. So if there was like 4 or 5 minions on the board, you could use Whirlwind to damage all of them, and then you sort of suddenly like draw a ton of cards, which some people would say was probably a bit overpowered. I'd probably agree with them, to be honest. I've found that when I've had Battle Rage in my decks, in other warrior builds, I haven't really had much of an opportunity to use it, because I don't really like using 2 cost to draw 1 card. So I try and save it for when there's like at least I've got at least 2 minions on the board that have been damaged. But that doesn't generally happen very often. So we'll see. We'll see. They've usually either got full health or they're dead. That's usually what I find. Maybe I'm just not playing it at the right time. We shall see. But yeah, that's the deck. And we shall get on and see how we do in ranked. Now my ranked level has gone up since I last played. The last 2 games I played it like gold 2-star or something, and I'm now on diamond 3-star, so it's going to be a little bit more tough, but we shall see how we get on.
Garrosh versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
Victory or death.
Okay, so we're up against a mage. This is going to be a tough one to begin with. We have got the Fiery War Axe though straight away. I think I shall keep the Shattered Sun Cleric. I think I'm going to ditch the Dwarf for the time being though, and hope that we get something a bit of a lower cost in a rage. Not ideal, but it will do. I did say lower cost, so you know. Oh, and we pull into a Novice Engineer, so that's good. We shall give them a greet, as I always do. And we shall see what they pull out of their hat. This is the Stormwind map. I like the Stormwind map. Not as much as the Orgrimmar map though. But then the Orgrimmar map has the catapult, and I can sit there all day playing that. Quite often I lose matches as a result, because I'm too busy just flicking the catapult. What are they doing? Look, it's turn 1. You've got a bunch of cards. Oh, brilliant. You took all that time to decide not to do anything. Right. Well, as I say, normally I'd keep the Fiery War Axe for removal in the early stages. So I think for the moment we should just bring out the Novice Engineer, pull out a card. And, oh, that's excellent. Harvest Golem. Card draw has been pretty bad for me the last few days. I've just been getting screwed over left, right and centre with my card draw. I'd be playing matches, and the first like 3 or 4 cards I'd draw out of my deck would be 5, 6, 7, 8 cost cards. But, great. Oh, and an arcane missiles. That's not good. Right. Well, that's not ideal, but we have just called into our second fiery war axe. So I think first things first is we get rid of that, because we don't want them having cheaper cost spells. That is something that we do not want them to have. I would have preferred to have got my harvest golem out that turn, but great. Well, this could be anything. It could be. It's probably, if they've got any sense, it's probably either a mirror image or I forget what it's called now. It's either a mirror image or it's the vaporize, if they've got any sense.
What now?
I want to put the harvest column out, but I'm worried that it's going to be a mirror image and then he'll get one as well. So I've got to find out what it is at some point. I might as well do it now. Mirror image? Yeah, or mirror entity, I should say. Okay. Right, well then, let's kill that. And then it'll spawn, it'll be 1 health, so as I said before, we use the inner rage. We'll kill that off. End turn. Not ideal, but it got rid of his the minion that he had as a result, and it got rid of his secret, so I still got board control, but not under the circumstances I would like. He still has more cards than I do.
What to do?
But I can pump up the golem next turn with the Shattered Sun Cleric, which will make it a 3/4, which will make it a little bit more difficult for him to kill. But now he's over 4 mana. He has access to fireballs and is it fireballs? Yeah, fireballs. I think of 4 cost, and polymorph, which is a 4 cost as well.
I wonder.
So hopefully, with any luck, this will. He won't play any of those. What's he doing? He's got 1 cost left. Oh, I see. Right. Well, I've got 5. I've got 5 mana. So we can use the fiery war axe to get rid of the mana worm, because that can get pumped up really quickly. Because that gets 1 attack for every spell that they cast. So if they've got well, they could have a whole handful of spells there. So I think what we'll do first of all is we shall pump up this one,
the sun well.
make that a 3/4, and then we'll take out the fiery war axe, take out the worm, and then hit him for 3. Good. That's a bit better. The only other problem is he's only 2 mana away from getting a flame strike, which does 4 damage to everything on the board on my side. Or he might have a blizzard, which does 2 damage to everything on that side and freezes them. Oh, he's got a frost. Ugh. Okay. Right. So I think now we shall Defender of Argus, which will pump these guys up a bit more.
My shield for Argus.
So although they can't attack this turn, which is unfortunate, and I would have liked to have been able to get them to attack this turn, then I shall hero power. I'm gonna have to. I don't want him to have that on the board. I don't want him to have that extra spell damage, but I cannot kill it this turn. I can kill it next turn, provided that these 2 things stay alive. I might just have to suck up. I might just have to. I'm going to hit him in the face and may come to regret that. And I will try and kill him off this next turn now that my characters are unfrozen. May have been a bad idea. I could have whirlwind. I could have done a whirlwind instead. But then I wouldn't have been able to play the Defender of Argus, because I wouldn't have had enough mana. I could have played the Raging Worgen and then done a whirlwind, but then As I said before, I don't like pumping up my creatures before it's their time to attack. Okay, they've got 4 mana, so they could fireball me straight in the face. No, they're going to Arcane Explosion, which that's not good. That's not good at all. The hell? Why the hell did he do that? I guess it means that. Okay, well, let's take advantage of this while we've got it. So we've got three of us. So I'll draw 3 cards. Okay, good. And I can give them both 2 more health by putting another Defender of Argus down between them.
My shield for Argus.
We'll get rid of that one.
Push forward.
And then we'll hit him in the face. And we'll end the turn. I'm beginning to think that maybe I should have killed that one, but yeah. I've been waiting for that. That's the first polymorph. That's the first one. Okay. So, what next? Well, first of all, I think we draw the Novice Engineer.
I hope you like my invention.
And we've got 6. So I think we pull out Shattered Sun Cleric.
You must cleanse the Sunwell.
We take rid of that, and then we take the. Oh, no, or he might have a Flame Strike. I'm reluctant to put the Raging Worgen out in case he's got a Flame Strike next turn. So I think I'll just armor up and hit him with the sheet, because he's in Flame Strike territory now. And I've got 4 minions on the field, so he'll probably want to get rid of them as quickly as he can. It won't leave him any mana to do anything else, but it would clear my board. No, he's not using that. Really? Okay. Well then I shall get out the Raging Worgen. And I'll get out the Acolyte of Pain. I'll armor up. And then I'll smack him in the face.
If you're sure.
Maybe he doesn't have a Flame Strike in his hand. That's unusual. That's like one of the best board clears in the game. It does, because it does 4 damage to everything. Yeah, Consecration. I mean, it doesn't do 4 damage to the hero, whereas Consecration does damage to the hero, but that only does 2 damage. Ah, there we go. I don't know why he wanted to get out a minion first, because nothing on the board had 5 health. Alright, well, he's used his Flame Strike, so let's get both of these out and hope that he doesn't kill both of them this turn. But I've got no other minions to play, so if I can. Yeah, well, he's not going to hit me. He's not going to hit one of the minions with that, because that would be silly. He doesn't want to enrage them for me.
You know, take candle.
Okay.
Sometimes
Wow, that's a lot of spell power
I
going
forget
out.
things.
We need to get rid of this. I haven't pulled any of my silences. I need to pull my silences. I need to pull them really fast. So what can we do next turn? We could... Haha! Okay, so we can whirlwind twice. That will kill this one. That will bring that one down to 2. We can then Ironbeak Owl that one. These two will have been enraged. I can Battle Rage to draw cards. I think that's probably the best way to do things. So let's whirlwind once. These both go up to that. Whirlwind again. I don't even need to silence them because I'll just. There we go. And that's the game. All important board control. Tried to reset it with the Flame Strike and it didn't quite work. So, that's been the Tempo Midrange Warrior deck. I hope you enjoyed that and gives you a basic idea of how it all works. For more information, I will put a link below to the Hearthstone page that has the whole setup there, so you can see exactly what cards are involved and how Mindlapse, the author, describes how best to play it. I think I tried to do as best as he said. Obviously card draw makes it dependent on how you actually play it, but I think as long as you take your time and are good at maths, because you need to work out how much damage you can do, and yeah, anyway. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I shall see you on the next one. Okay, bye bye.